welcome to Time Travels with Joanna. This is episode number 2. Stay tuned. For as long as I can remember, I've always had a passion for history, sacred sites of the world, and the people who call these places home. Hi, in case we haven't met, I'm Joanna, your spiritual explorer road trip buddy. Join me as we take a tour through time and discover what healing powers, secrets, and legends these sites and the land they're built on contain. Stopping in at local eateries, tips and tricks, healing Mother Earth, and meeting the locals are all on the menu. So if you have a passion for history, spirituality, or land energy, watch on. Welcome to Time Travels with Joanna. I'm glad you're along for the ride. Today, we have the opportunity to explore Coteau du Lac National Historic Site, an 18th century fort located approximately 1 hour west of Montreal. I can't wait to share with you all that I've discovered. Let's get started. This area, located in the southwestern corner of Quebec, Coteau du Lac is a small suburb located on the banks of the St. Lawrence River between Lac Saint-Louis and Lac Saint-François. Its history is steeped in many firsts, notably being the first area to have a canal lock system built in Canada and North America for a time. If we follow this river from Lake Ontario, we will find ourselves heading towards the Atlantic Ocean after some 3,500 kilometers. At the beginning, this waterway was inhabited by several First Nation tribes, such as Iroquois and Mohawk, who used the area as a bypass to avoid the larger rapids of the now famous river. In the late 1770s, this historic site was intended to be a support outpost to defend Canada against the invading Americans, but luckily was never needed as much as it was intended to. It is built in the shape of a star and contains many building remnants such as a longhouse, an infirmary, a mess hall, and gun support platforms. The canal was dug by hand to allow flat-bottom boats to carry goods and supplies from the larger cities of the day. Today, one can walk the canal, visit the museum, and tour the buildings that remain, a haunting version of days past superimposed by the tranquil park that it is today. The intention behind this project was to investigate land energy in and around various sacred sites in our region. Firstly, for curiosity's sake, and secondly, to see if I could be of service in the balancing of Mother Earth. Around 2016, I was called to learn the art of land clearing and have continued on my path since then, acquiring much wisdom from our planet. In this episode, I've used the power of intention, Reiki, dowsing rods, and prayer to assist in the liberation of any energies that may be longing to shift. We now know that pretty much everything on our planet holds energy, from people to places to belongings to homes. The point of this project, I believe, is to help the land, the planet, and the people to feel better, to rise up, and to do good things. As a metaphysician for over 13 years now, my gifts include channeling messages, rebalancing energy, and bringing forth information for humanity that has bled through from the past. Stay tuned as I show you some of the info I picked up from this exact location. Hello again from Coteau du Lac. Right now, this portion of the vlog focuses a lot on channeling the land and feeling the energy that comes out of the space that I'm in. And I'm just going to take a moment here to gather up some of the energy from my feet and from the walls and the stone structures that are around me, and see if there's any messages they want to share. The first one I'm getting is a little bit of irritation. To be honest with you, I feel like they're irritated a little bit that I'm fiddling around with so much technology. I was fiddling with my phone, my rods, well, my rods aren't part of it really, but my equipment, let's say, all of the things I needed to get ready for this vlog. And I really feel that there's a lot of impatience as far as being able to share their voice today. So I'm going to try my best right now to channel the people that are here and see what happens. So we're just moving on down to the base here, down to the main building that I'm going to show you around. And luckily the park is closed today, so I have the whole place to myself, and you can see, I'm going to give you a 360-degree view of the peacefulness, yet fighting. That's all I feel here is fighting and skirmish and hard work. And I dare say I'm picking up a little bit of, a lot of depression. I hear a lot of languages in my head as well, so I feel like there's a lot of people here who, you know, may have been settlers or may have been immigrants. So one thing for certain, that there was a sign of the cross behind. Yeah, one thing you need to know about this area is that it was rampant with harshness. So for the pioneers especially, we're talking like from the, you know, late 1500s to the 1700s. It was an extremely hard life to live here. It was really, really brutal winters, and there was not a lot of food. There was a lot of things that were super scarce, a lot of disease and discord and a lot of fighting, as I mentioned before. And it was really hard for the people that were here. They really, a lot of them suffered, and the lifespan, I suppose, for a lot of people was not long. You know, and it was a really, really tough time for them to be alive here. But you know, even my own family forged through in the 1800s and settled in this area. So proof positive of the human will and the human spirit to stay alive. I also feel that on the land here too, is that perseverance. I guess if there's one word I can use for this area, is perseverance. Perseverance. So continuing on here on our tour, it's so funny how Spirit works, but I dropped my battery remote control. And as you can see here, I'm underneath the bridge. And it's kind of really amazing that I was forced to come down here because I dropped my battery from the bridge. Because all of the energy down here is just unbelievably strong. I can actually, even in my mind's eye, I can almost see a whole bunch of soldiers with tall hats marching. That's all I hear is the marching. I hear the marching of the feet, and it's just so much structure and so much rigidity and so much formality. And the other thing I also feel from all of these soldiers is loyalty. So even if they were under pressure and under the gun to, you know, fight, as I was talking about before, and be, you know, under pressure to build all of these beautiful stone walls that we see now, it was a lot of labor for them to do. So you can see the walls and the hut and everything else behind me, the big fort, that was all made by hand. You know, and all those rocks had to be hauled from somewhere, and there was so much labor and so much hard work. You know, besides that, I actually feel like they're proud to be here. So they're really honored to be here. So that's one thing I'm also picking up from the soldiers. And It's just crazy, you guys. I wish you could see what's in my mind's eye right now. I wish you could see all of these soldiers all lining up behind me. I feel like they're just sort of filing side by side, these rows of soldiers just passing right through me right now, right down this column of land and energy. It's really quite fascinating. So I'm sitting here on the remnants of what I believe was an old building. And the foundations are still here, and the energy that I'm picking up from the land here is very sorry, I'm squinting, it's a little bit sunny here. The energy is so bright, that's all I can say, is it's very, very bright and electric. And I don't think it has anything to do with the sun. Well, maybe a little bit, but there's a lot of energy coming up through my feet, and the main energy I feel here is fighting and skirmishes and hard work. So I just feel like there's a lot of labor going on. Like I feel like there's a lot of energy where people are just working so hard for what they believe in, and I feel like there's not a lot of rest and not a lot of peace in this field that I'm sitting in. If only these rocks could talk. I would love to get their point of view on, what happened back in the day. And the rocks, what I'm picking up from them, it's the energy of labor that these people just worked their hands to the bone to get, things accomplished. And it was a really hard time. This area was largely habitated by the French and the English, and therefore there's a lot of, there was a lot of Catholicism in the area, and there was a lot of energy of the church, and still a little bit to this day in Quebec, but the roots of that, of Catholicism, are very, very, very much embedded in the land here. So on top of the military energy that I felt at this fort, the Coteau du Lac Fort, is also the feeling of faith. So these people had a lot of faith. I'm half expecting to see a priest or somebody walk around the corner, even though I'm the only one here today in this park. It just feels so faithful. And I think that, these people who largely traveled across the Atlantic Ocean, not knowing exactly where they were going or how they were going to get there, or if they were even going to survive the voyage across the ocean, came down here into insurmountable conditions sometimes. And, like I mentioned before, the perseverance, the hope, the loyalty, the faith is also very deeply rooted in this land. It's so cool. I hope you have a chance to come and visit here. I feel like the hills are alive. I feel like busting out into song from like the sound of music, but really the hills are alive here. It's unreal. It's like they're humming. I can hear like a humming in my third eye. And it's just like very consistent. And the other thing I've been hearing since I got here is bagpipes. It's the oddest thing. Bagpipes, Catholicism, military energy, and native as well. Here's some drums. So just picking up on my intuitive, clairaudient abilities, I guess. Normally mine is clairvoyant. I'm very clairvoyant, and I see a lot of things. I see things like a ticker tape across my forehead, and I see visions of things. But I'm also hearing a lot today, and wow, bagpipes, that's so cool. We know in this land as well that there was a lot of Scots, a lot of Scottish, a lot of Irish, a lot of English, a lot of French. So, I feel like here it's just like a huge melting pot of a whole bunch of cultures, and they're all talking at once. Amazing. So some of the other things that I'm picking up right now are, like in this particular area that I'm sitting in, All I can hear is dishes clanking back and forth and cutlery and food. I almost smell in my nostrils baking bread. So I'm not too sure what the lay of the land is here. There's no sign for this actual, remnants of what this place was, but I dare say it feels like a mess hall to me, because all I can sense is, like I said, like bustling around and a lot of plates and dishes and clanging and people eating. So perhaps this was an area that served meals in the past. It's fascinating to me what is revealed when we actually have the will and the inclination and the intention to hear it. Fabulous.
Next up, my friend Mary joins us for a beautiful drumming ceremony down by the water. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name's Mary.
When the inspiration for this project came, there also arrived with it a stewardship to care for Earth. As I understood it, part of this project was for awareness, but there was also a request for healing Mother Earth and the expression of gratitude and love. We are all, each and every one of us, a caretaker for Mother Earth, and all make a difference somehow in our own way. For this particular vlog, we were called to honor the people who had occupied this land in the past. After setting up a sacred space, Mary and I performed a short intentional ceremony. Mother, Father, God, Great Spirit, we invite you in today to a place you already reside. Brothers and sisters to the north, to the east, to the south, and to the west, we honor you. We invite you of all colors, races, and creeds to join us in the healing of our planet, our land, and our people. We invite you, the people who came before us, and the people that come after us, we honor you. For the past, we ask for your forgiveness, and in return, we forgive. For the future, we ask for acceptance, and in return, we offer hope. For the present, we dream to share and hold space equally. May this gracious land be transformed and appreciated for years to come. To Mother Earth, we thank you for supporting us, nourishing us, protecting us, and sheltering us, and allow us to roam. So it is, and so it shall be. So this is a really easy tip you can do wherever you are. Is just place your hand on something. It could be something that you own, like dowsing rods. It could be a bracelet of somebody else. It could be a place. If you're really interested in learning a little bit more about this and learning about the language that's, invisible to most of us, you can just take some time to listen. Take a deep breath, get into your heart space, and just listen. See what comes up. It's that easy.
I'm absolutely astounded at the beauty and magnificence of this tree. I'm going to see if I can get you a little view up here. This tree is just so solid and magnificently large, and I just can't help but sense that this tree has heard and seen and been around for so long. And when I lean on it, there's just such an amazing feeling of permanence and life. And oh man, they're sentient beings. Trees are just amazing. And this one I feel is more masculine in nature. I think it may be no, it's not an oak tree, an ash maybe, but it's just absolutely astounding the energy that's coming out of here. And you know, when we sometimes bypass trees, right? And then sometimes I think to myself, you know, during this whole vlog history project, I think these trees, these guys have been around this whole time, way before we even got here, and they're just so alive and just so magnificent. And I really don't feel like we give them the credit they deserve, honestly. This tree is just giving me so much life force energy right now. I can't even describe the force of it, but it's just so fabulous. Oh, I hope you get a chance to come here. It's an absolutely incredible space on Mother Earth. Thank you. Fabulous. Remember, magic and spirit are everywhere in the world, if only we have the eyes to see it. Bye for now.